Hello. Um, got a special surprise for y'all, and it's especially good for any of you Blender heads out there that are playing around with Maya, wishing you had this, wishing you had that. For example, math nodes and other ways to use them. And for y'all who don't know, here's a special tip for y'all as well. Um, what we're looking at right now is this file right here. And basically what a math node will allow you to do is, for one, keeping ratios together very easily without having to try and do the math for each little step and all this and that. It's just a very simple way to get things done. As you see from this texture, it's very nice, very even. Textures are not stretched at all. And how we do that is with this and this. You have a multiply divide node and you have a remap value node. Now for you Blender heads out there that are used to value nodes, this one's a little bit different. You gotta put a little bit more work into it. For everyone else, well, like I said, let's get right into it. As I say, that this texture right here, it looks nice. This is not how it originally looked when I first brought it in. Let's go ahead and get rid of these so y'all can see, and drop this back down to how it was when I first opened it. It looked like this. Not really much like a floor texture. Let's get really close. That's not too bad. Of course, I played around with it until I try to get a nice little even thing going, and it was very difficult. However, that's the only thing you really need to do is find it just one time, and you'll be able to plug this math node in with very greater ease. For example, this actual coordinates that I found originally was 8.5 with y being at 7.835, and it gives me this right here. Very nice and even. What's going on here? How come I'm more frozen? Oh. Anyway, so here it is. Very nice, very even. However, I want to be able to increase that size because it's just too small for what I was using it for. Now I could come in here and go 8.5 times what, give me what, and 7.85. I could easily do it that way. Say I want to scale it up 3 times, 8.5 times 3, 7.835 times 3, and do it that way. Or I can simply just find out what the ratio is, which, let's see, where's it at? Which I find out with this calculator right here, over at Calculator Soup. They have a lot of nice calculators, by the way. But anyway, so value A, we've been scale X at 8.5. Then we have the scale Y value, which is at 7.835. Now I'm trying to find a 1-to-1 ratio of what it actually is. So, because Y is closer to 1, it's the least number, it'll be easier for me to try and figure out what that one is. So, put D in there for 1 and leave C blank. Push calculate. Now find out I have a 1.8048 blah 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 to 1 ratio. Well, basically it's a 1.084 ratio as far as when you try to plug it into Maya. So write that down because you're going to need it. And then go to your hypershade, go to create, drop down to, what's the color values? Can't remember, where was it? Looking for a math node. There we go. Under general utilities, multiply divide. Now you have these values here in the attributes. You got 0, 0, 0 for endpoint 1, and endpoint 2 you got 1, 1, and 1. Well, as I've already stated, what I want to try to do is make sure that whatever I get is going to equal exactly the same right? So we're going to plug in information into input 1. Input 2 is what's going to be plugged right into your 3D texture placement. So, because these coordinates are x, y, and z, x was, what again? 1.084. Actually, you know what? Let's make it 0.5. Make it more even. And then ratio of 1. So now we have that. So now you're going to come over here and you're going to open this up. You're going to drag output X. Hold on your left hand clicker. Drag it over here. Drop it on that white ball and it's going to pop open. And then just try to make sure you go to scale X. Do the same thing with Y. Drop it on. Scale Y. Z we're not going to worry about because Z had nothing to do with this transformation whatsoever, so we're going to leave that alone. Oh, as a matter of fact, I should put 1 right there as well. Now, we have that plugged in. But now, how can I control it very easily? Should I put 2, 2, 3? No. This is where a value node comes in. Unfortunately, Maya does not have a real value node, but there is a way to cheat it. And we use a remap value node for that. So again, let's pull it back up. Go to create, drop down to color utilities, and remap value. Now, this remap value is very easy. We're going to go to the channel, not the attributes, we're going to go to the channel. We're going to put an input value of 1 because that is what we're overall changing. Go to 1 times 1 times 1.0849 to get X, and then 1 times 1 times 1 to get the Y value. Because remember, it's a ratio of 1.0849 to 1. Now, input minimum, leave that alone at 0. Now, since you don't know how far you're really going to go up, and there's no way to put infinity as far as I can find out so far for your maxes, go ahead and put up a really high number, 999 if you please. I doubt you're going to go over there that high, but in the offset you do, it's already there for you. Now let's come back to the hypershade. Let's go ahead and open these up. We need to put this in input 2 member. We'll only put in input 1. So, no, that's not how we did it. Came from here. So, go up to your white dots on top. And come down to value. I'm sorry. Put input value. Well, you know what? This is the same thing as coming through here. And we're going to plug it into the X. Then we're going to take another one and plug it into Y. Now remember, we're not doing anything with Z. This transformation has nothing to do with Z values whatsoever. We're not on the Z axis at all. If we were, then it would be different. We'd have to try and do the Z as well, but we're not. Input 2, we just leave alone. Because remember, it has what our other values of 1.085 and 1. We do not want to touch those. That is our ratio value to make sure we keep. Okay. So, close that out. Make sure everything's all selected together. Come back to your remap value. Go and highlight 1, and as we scroll up, you can start to see it all come to life. We can get as big as we want, and we'll still keep the same ratio. Won't have any stretching whatsoever. Just even, nice textures. So, this is one way to keep your ratio values exactly the same without having to do the extra math work. Let Maya do the work for you. Other good values for this, like I said, I'm trying to think. When you got reflections to deal with and you wanted to be able to control what an index reflection or refraction, I mean, it's one way to use it, and there's a million different other ways. Play with it, see what you can come up with. I've used them on a few things. I don't use it very often, although I should, but there you go. Do enjoy.